After Yuri's parents passed away, he inherited their big house but couldn't afford servants. He tried to manage it alone but failed. Then, a maid named Lilith showed up at his door, offering to work without pay. Yuri was suspicious but hired her because she seemed serious and had intense purple eyes. Despite Lilith doing a great job, Yuri couldn't shake his suspicions and couldn't stop thinking about her. Lilith knew Yuri didn't trust her but found it amusing. She teased him but got flustered when Yuri said she was beautiful. Yuri thought Lilith was a magician and demanded to know her intentions, but she playfully kept them secret, making him even more suspicious. One night, he found her in the kitchen at midnight and accused her of using a love potion. In reality, she was learning to cook his favorite foods. When Lilith called him by name as a spouse would, Yuri asked her to stop until they knew each other better. It turned out Lilith had a photo of Yuri and had received a letter after his parents' death, prompting her to travel to his mansion immediately. Lilith gets Yuri presents, and he thinks she's trying to make him like her. He embarrasses her by saying he'll make her like him instead. When Lilith disappears, Yuri gets worried until he finds her playing with a stray cat. Yuri admits he's scared of cats but wants to overcome that fear. While Lilith is away, a meaner cat shows up, but Yuri scares it away and befriends the stray cat. Lilith gets jealous when Yuri pets the cat, and she feels awkward when he pets her too. Yuri draws pictures of morning glory flowers but won't show Lilith until he's done. Thinking a magic potion is making him like Lilith's cooking, Yuri asks to learn to cook. He embarrasses Lilith by praising her food and suggesting they get married. Later, Lilith discovers Yuri's morning glory, drawing where he compares the flowers to her eyes. Yuri is curious about what Lilith does at night, but he falls asleep before finding out. It turns out Lilith waits for him to sleep so she can watch him. Before Yuri goes to school, Lilith takes care of him, reminding him of his parents. Lilith gets bored when Yuri is away. At school, a girl named Tsukasa wants to talk to Yuri, but is too nervous. Despite Yuri telling her not to, Lilith comes to pick him up. Tsukasa sees them together and gets suspicious, especially when she hears Yuri talking about Lilith's beauty. Tsukasa thinks they're in a weird relationship. Tsukasa's butler, Fujisaki, recognizes Lilith. Lilith asks Tsukasa to be a good friend to Yuri. Lilith stays out late trying to find a special fish for Yuri's dinner, but it's sold out everywhere. She misses the last train but gets a ride home from Fujisaki. When Lilith gets home, Yuri, with tears in his eyes, accuses her of making him miss her when she's not around. Lilith admits to enchanting him, but also praises him for doing well without her. Lilith is worried because Yuri thinks magic is making him like her, and he's keeping a close eye on her. She tries to calm his suspicions without success. Lilith suggests they play chess, and Yuri remembers playing chess with his dad and his mom making pudding. Lilith offers to play chess with Yuri anytime, and he likes that idea. The next day, Yuri comes home from school feeling down, so Lilith makes him pudding. Surprisingly, he takes it without being suspicious. Yuri tells Lilith about an open house at his school and worries others might be attracted to her. Lilith is relieved he still doubts her and decides to go. Yuri is disappointed when Lilith doesn't show up with other parents, but he's happy when she arrives in a butler's uniform borrowed from Fujisaki. Yuri is practicing for a sports festival and asks Lilith to come watch him. Tsukasa keeps spying on them, so Fujisaki tries to distract her by acting cute. After practice, Lilith offers to give Yuri a massage, and he gets suspicious because she's really good at it. Tsukasa's parents can't make it to the festival, so Fujisaki offers to go, not realizing Tsukasa tricked her. Yuri gets super competitive during the festival, and Tsukasa thinks he's trying to impress Lilith. Lilith says Yuri will get a reward if he wins, and Tsukasa jumps to conclusions. Lilith is surprised when Yuri says she has to join the parents' obstacle race, but she wins first place after he cheers for her. When Yuri's classmates complain that it's not fair for a maid to compete, Yuri says Lilith is his precious family instead. Lilith gets caught in the rain and jokes with Yuri about taking a bath together. But when he says they can't because they're not married, Lilith gets flustered. She starts acting weird, and Yuri realizes she caught a fever from the rain. Lilith feels sad about not being able to do her maid duties, but Yuri tells her to focus on getting better. Yuri surprises Lilith by helping with chores and wanting to spend more time with her. Tsukasa invites Yuri to her Halloween party, so he decides to dress up as a sorcerer. Yuri insists Lilith wear a costume too, so she goes as a dragon girl. This makes Tsukasa daydream about their love life. Tsukasa embarrasses Fujisaki by making her wear a princess outfit for a photo shoot. The next day, Lilith gets letters in the mail. Yuri is less suspicious of her lately, but when she tries to hide the letters, his suspicion comes back. Lilith tells him her old boss wants her to go back. Yuri doesn't want her to leave, saying he's still under her magic spell, and she's his maid, not anyone else's. Lilith throws away the letters, and Yuri hugs her for the first time. Yuri can't stop thinking about Lilith. Tsukasa notices he's clueless, so she tells him he's in love. Lilith gets worried when Yuri ignores her, even when she teases him. Yuri almost asks Lilith about love but decides to ask Tsukasa instead. He's afraid Lilith might leave one day, but Tsukasa says Lilith is happiest with him. Tsukasa tries to explain love by giving Yuri romance books, but Fujisaki takes them away before Yuri can read them. Yuri goes back to normal, confusing Lilith again. For an art assignment, Yuri decides to draw Lilith to show her true self. At first, Lilith thinks he wants to draw her naked. Yuri isn't satisfied with his drawing and loses sleep over it. As he tries to sleep, he tells Lilith he's confused and doesn't know much about her. Lilith helps him sleep with a lullaby his mom used to sing. Yuri wakes up well-rested but forgets what they talked about. He insists Lilith sleeps beside him again, though she worries about losing sleep too. Despite Yuri not finishing his drawing of Lilith, it wins an award in art class. Yuri gets worried when Lilith goes out looking nice, thinking she might have a date. Lilith meets Fujisaki at a cafe and remembers that Fujisaki used to be a troublemaker in school, but changed after meeting Tsukasa. Lilith hopes she and Yuri can be close like that too. Fujisaki advises Lilith to open her heart to Yuri if she wants him to do the same, but Lilith is unsure. Yuri, who was following her, comes home and confronts her. He remembers that when he was younger, his parents brought in a lonely girl who turned out to be Lilith. She used to sing him his mom's lullaby. Lilith wants to explain, but Yuri decides to remember on his own. Tsukasa notices Yuri acting differently and thinks he and Lilith are making progress. Yuri realizes his feelings for Lilith are not suspicion but love. He rushes home and confesses his love to Lilith, but before she can respond, another maid shows up and demands Lilith return with her right away. Lilith tells Yuri about her past with another maid, Natsume. Natsume used to work for the same boss as Lilith, but is disappointed that Lilith now serves a kid like Yuri. Natsume thinks Yuri isn't a good master because he's not rich and not well educated, even though Lilith seems impressed by him. Lilith talks to Natsume about being too obsessed with her and insists on staying with Yuri. Yuri realizes he has feelings for Lilith and thinks Natsume might love her too. Natsume eventually admits she loves Lilith. Yuri goes back to school, and Lilith goes back to her maid duties. Natsume can't believe Lilith is happy with Yuri, even though they act close. Yuri notices Natsume isn't as good a maid as Lilith and makes more messes than she cleans up. This reminds Lilith of the past when she used to clean up after Natsume's mistakes. While Lilith and Natsume bathe together, Lilith tells Natsume she doesn't know how to respond to Yuri's love confession. Natsume reluctantly admits that Yuri is a good master and makes Lilith happy. She doesn't tell Lilith why, thinking she needs to figure it out on her own. Yuri talks to Tsukasa about Natsume, and Tsukasa is excited that Yuri might have a rival for Lilith's love. Natsume comes to pick up Yuri from school and gets scared when she sees Fujisaki. Natsume plans to leave soon, but since it's almost Christmas, she wants to buy a gift for Lilith first. Two older boys try to bully Yuri, but Natsume saves him and is impressed that he stood up to them. Natsume asks Yuri to help plan a surprise Christmas party for Lilith. Yuri tells Lilith he's spending Christmas with Tsukasa, which makes Lilith visibly disappointed. Natsume then invites Lilith out on Christmas so Yuri, Tsukasa, and Fujisaki can prepare for the party without her. Natsume struggles to talk to Lilith, but they still have fun. Lilith buys Natsume hair ornaments, and Natsume gives Lilith a pen, asking her to write letters after she leaves. When they get back to the mansion, Natsume is surprised because Yuri and Lilith had planned the party for her instead. The party is a success. After Tsukasa goes home and Natsume falls asleep, Yuri leaves her a Christmas gift, a pair of woolen mittens that Lilith helped him knit. Lilith meets her old boss. While shopping with Yuri, Natsume admits he feels confident enough to confess his love to Lilith's old boss. The boss is happy that Lilith likes working for Yuri. Lilith shares that when she was young, her parents disappeared and Yuri's parents took her in. She became a maid to repay them. When Yuri's parents died, she left her boss's mansion to take care of Yuri. Yuri and Natsume come home, and Yuri worries Lilith is leaving. The boss reassures him that he's just there to get Natsume. After they leave, it feels awkward since Yuri and Lilith haven't been alone in a while. Lilith asks if Yuri wants to go somewhere, and he suggests a date. In town, Tsukasa sees them together but is stopped from following by Fujizaki. Under the Christmas lights, Lilith finally asks what kind of love Yuri has for her. Yuri says he doesn't know yet but looks forward to figuring it out together. The next snowy morning, Lilith and Yuri make snowmen of each other. Lilith gets embarrassed when Yuri adds 6 snow children next to them.